As owners and operators of wedding businesses, from time to time, we step into poop. In this video, we're going to be talking about avoiding business killer lawsuits. That is to say, picking that poop up with our bare hands, standing in front of a fan, and chucking it at that fan. Stick around. Welcome back to Wedding Industry Law. My name is Rob. I am a wedding industry attorney, and in this week's video, we are going to be talking about the main thing that you can do with your conduct, with your behavior, with your operations that are going to reduce the likelihood that you're going to be sued for claims of tort. And this video actually is a live video taken from when I presented at the fabulous Wedding MBA in 2016. So that's going to be explaining why I look much younger and much thinner. But anyway, the content is still as relevant today as it was in 2016. And if you do have an opportunity to check out Wedding MBA, I highly recommend it. Wedding MBA is an annual wedding conference every year. I guess that makes it annual in Las Vegas. Thousands upon thousands. I think it's still the largest wedding conference in North America. So I've spoken at it, I think 6 or 7 years in a row. Love it. Not going to be there this year for family reasons, but I will be back in 2022. But anyway, that's what this video is from, and hopefully you enjoy. Let's roll.
What happens when you have a misunderstanding that, it couldn't have been avoided, right? So maybe you messed up, maybe it's not something that's addressed in the contract. So my suggestion to you is that whenever there is a misunderstanding, that you need to confront it as soon as possible, all right? So there's a tendency, particularly with people that aren't extremely extroverted, or maybe you're just not confrontational, there's a tendency to just let little things go and hope they don't turn into big things, okay? So a lot of times, and this is weird, but a lot of times I get examples like this, where a client will email the professional with the litany of questions or critiques or complaints or whatever. In general, it'd be like, are you going to be able to crop Edna out of these pictures? Or, I thought I was going to get the deepest purple orchids or something like that. And generally you're on it. Like, yes, Aunt Edna's getting cropped out of the pictures. Her and her mole are going to be gone. Like Prince will be proud about how purple these orchids are, things like that. But then there's usually, there's the one question that you don't have the answer for. Like, for example, I thought that you were going to have Ariel place cards and you had Snow White, and you don't have an answer for that. So, but because you did such a good job on the other stuff, you're like, well, I'm going to hope that slips through the cracks and I'm not going to respond to that one. You know what I mean? Because I got the other things covered. Don't do that, because what happens is the client is going to resent that. The resentment turns to anger. The anger turns to hate. Hate turns to the dark side. And then, depending on when it happens in the contract, what are they going to do? They're going to start looking at you a lot closer. And then they're going to be martyrs and say, I'm death by 1,000 paper cuts, and sue you. Does that make sense? Confront your issues, okay? And here's why. So lawsuits usually are composed of two different types of claims, okay? Breach of contract, and then on the other side, there are torts, okay? Breach of contract is breach of contract. You promise to do something, you don't do it. A tort is a wrong that hurts the client, okay? Torts are things like fraudulent misrepresentation, intentional infliction of emotional distress. Here's why I'm telling you this. It's because the liability for each of those claims is different. Breach of contract, if you get sued for breach of contract, you're looking at a lawsuit in which the damages, which is money, the damages are going to usually be contract value minus what you gave them. It's lower, foreseeable, and generally your business can withstand it. When you get a verdict against you from torts, you're looking at pain and suffering, okay? Pain and suffering can be a big number. I call tort damages business killers, okay? And generally in the law, if somebody's bringing a breach of contract claim against you, they cannot bring a tort claim against you generally, except when you hide the ball, right? So my suggestion to you is, even if you're supposed to have the aerial placards and you got Snow White or Aurora or whatever it is, tell the client what happened, right? Because what happens is that if this were to go to trial, somebody like me is going to try to paint somebody like you as a villain, right? Well, look, Your Honor, the professional completely hid the ball on this, and I'm telling you that she did it on purpose because it saved her money, or because maybe she's getting a kickback from Ariel or whatever it is. I'm going to try to paint it to you as not an innocent mistake, but as something that you did to make more money, or just to fraudulently induce the person to come into the contract, blah, blah, blah. Okay, I'm painting you as the villain so I can get tort damages against you, because that's the business killer, right? So that, and an example of that is I represented a bride and groom against a wedding photographer a few years ago, and the issue really at the end of the day was that the wedding photographer lost a lot of the images, which probably wouldn't have been a big deal. But the photographer stopped taking the phone calls from the client, frantic phone calls, like, please, like, what's going on? Like, just give us what you got, and completely shut down, okay? And at trial, we not only got breach of contract damages, okay? We got almost 4 times that in intentional infliction of emotional distress, because they hit the ball for about a year, okay? So confront the issues as they come up, okay?
If you happen to be watching this on YouTube or weddingindustrylaw.com as opposed to listening wherever you get your podcasts from, please be sure to comment on whether you prefer middle-aged men in sports jackets with jeans, or should I have been fully in a suit. I think the older I get, the less I like the concept of sport jacket in jeans. I don't know. There's something about that that's kind of sketchy for me. But anyway, should I go full suit, no tie, or just suit with a tie? I don't know. I think that at the end of the day, when I go back to Wedding MBA, when it's live again for me, I think I'm going to go full suit. I'm going to suit up. Anyway, hope you found the content of this video informative. If you did, please be sure to like and subscribe. Leave a comment. Please be sure to leave a comment regarding sports jackets and jeans. And new videos every week, everybody. And with that, we'll see you next week.